With the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct coming soon and presumably the announcement of the Switch 2 launch year lineup, I thought I'd like to talk about some of the game franchises that I would personally like to see revived the most using the power of the Nintendo Switch 2. The first game I'd like to personally see being revived is a classic Nintendo JRPG that really stands out in Nintendo's library, Golden Sun. Golden Sun hasn't received a new entry in the series since 2010. We're slowly closing in on the 25th anniversary next year, and it would make sense for a new entry in the series with either a remake or Golden Sun 4. I feel like with all the genres that are first party for Nintendo, they don't necessarily have a series that is a traditional JRPG on the Switch that's not Mario RPG. I would definitely like to see a refined battle system with maybe some new gens, sick attack animations, and some voice acting. Okay, so the next game on this list isn't necessarily a franchise that hasn't had a game in a while since it is a Pokemon game, but it is a side game that I think could easily get a brand new entry, especially with the motion controls of the Nintendo Switch 2, being Pokemon Ranger. It all makes so much sense too, since they were trying to push motion controls so much in the early Switch era. And with the Switch 2 seemingly using even more wonky motion controls like the mouse-like little movements that it has, I think the time for another entry to the Pokemon Ranger series is nigh, and the Switch 2 might be the catalyst for it. Speaking of silly motion controls, I think that we need more silly games on the Nintendo Switch, more specifically utilizing the Miis. The 3DS era was so rich with unique little Mii games through the Street Pass, and then they had a whole RPG, that it felt like the Miis were not just an avatar creator for Nintendo users, but a franchise on its own. And one of the most critically acclaimed Mii games was Tomodachi Life. This game had so much personality and identity that no other game could dare to match it. If they pair the game's silliness with the innovative motion controls the Joy-Cons bring to the table, I think that this version of Tomodachi Life could become a cult classic again. Now for the fourth game, I think I could speak for every person that has not played Kid Icarus Uprising, but wants to, that if they release the game as a port on the Switch, that we'd probably play it over the original any day. I'm so confident that we will get a sequel or HD remake of Uprising that I haven't even touched the game at all, regardless of the fact that I have a 3DS that's available to play it. Mainly it's because of how uncomfortable the controls seem on the 3DS, but I think that with a console, this game could find a whole new fan base and become one of Nintendo's biggest franchises. Now for the final game that I'd like to see get a franchise revival for the Switch 2 is the one that Nintendo seemingly wants to separate itself from the most on this list, being Dragalia Lost. Being the only Nintendo IP to originate on mobile devices, Dragalia Lost had something unique going for it in terms of characters, lore, and overall content. It has more story mode content in the game over the 4 years that it was active than some Nintendo franchises have in only one full game. And for that reason, I believe that it's the perfect game to bring over to the Switch 2. Nintendo could definitely use an action RPG that has a vast array of characters that already has an established fan base. I would hate for them to make a brand new IP that gives the same vibe and just leave Dragalia Lost out to dry. With games like Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves having such critical success, I think that it would make total sense to bring this game to a console that can expand on its gameplay and visuals. Alright, well that's my top 5 games that I would want to see revived on the Nintendo Switch 2. If you guys had any other games that you would want to see be revived or brought over to the Switch 2, go ahead and leave a comment down below, maybe leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.